Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming to the Dougherty County School System Mid-Month Board Meeting. We certainly appreciate you taking your time out to come. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any presentations or public comments?
Yes, ma'am. We have a presentation by Ms. T. Taylor and Rick. Sorry, yes, ma'am. We have a presentation by Ms. T. Taylor with the City of Albany, Ms. T, about breast cancer awareness. It's an annual presentation we look forward to.
Good morning again.
Good
morning.
One more time because it is a beautiful day. So we're going to say it one more time like cheerleaders. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's what I'm talking about. On behalf of Albany Recreation Parks, I am T. Taylor, and I am here for a good reason, but not so a good reason, because cancer is never a good thing. I bring you greeting from the city of Albany, the great city. Today, the reason I am here, one, I want to thank the superintendent. I would like to thank the school board members. I'd like to thank the great schools. This started over maybe 11 years ago. This whole program is about a lady named Leslie Charles. And I've been writing down stuff to say what I'm going to say. But when it's come to something that's dear to your heart, it's nothing you can say, but you come from your heart. And one day at the after-school program for the city of Albany, Olivia, her daughter, was very quiet. So I let it pass that first day. But that second day, she was sitting by herself and she was alone. And I said, no, something is going wrong. When you know your kids, you know something is wrong. So when I approached her, she said, I know my father told you that my mother had breast cancer. I said, no, he did not. So she began to tell me the story that the reason she's sitting by herself, the reason she's down there that don't want to talk with no one today is because her mother is sick. If anyone in here is a parent, you know when your mother or the father is not feeling well, that would affect you. Also, I knew she was an A student, and I knew that the way she looked, it might affect her grades. So I made her a promise. I told her at this time, it's kind of, October is almost over, and I cannot get all the school involved at this short notice. But what I will do, the after-school program at Lockett Station Community Center connected to Robert Cross School, I can do some in-house for you this year. But I guaranteed you that the following year, I'm going to take it to all the schools. I made her a promise without consulting with the superintendent. But when you pray about something, and I went in there, and when I asked him, he said yes, right off. And you know what? God answered my prayer. So I started talking with him. He got in contact with all the principals. And we decided to, set a date that all the school will wear pink. Her grade never dropped. She had a brother. His grade never dropped. But from that day on, every day she came in the after-school program, and she was middle school, she was happy because she saw the difference that there was people who cared. And the reason I did all of this also because there was other kids in the school system that cared, that wanted somebody to just care to ask them what's wrong instead of saying your behavior, what's your behavior problem or whatever. It wasn't a behavior problem with someone, but they was going through something. So this is how all this came about. Olivia Charles, she's a teacher at Mary Acres. And I'm challenging all the school board members to go see her. To go see her to let her know. Sometimes it takes one child that can change this whole system. And today, I'm up here to tell you that the school that I visit, the school that Summer Recreation Park visit, hey, they was on point. So I give them all an A, and I give y'all a B, because until you go out and tell them that you really appreciate them making a difference, the principal, the student, the whole faculty. So when you come back and Ms. Poole tell me y'all went out, then I upgrade y'all to an A+. So today, I want to thank Ms. Bruce, and I want to thank her staff, JD, for working with me. And I want to thank the queen over here that been working with me as well, and Ms. Poole, and all of you. We are going to look at, when you look at these photos, you look at love, you look at respect, and you look at making a difference. So without further ado, I'm gonna do what I do best, step aside, and I'm gonna let Mr. JD cut the lights, and he's going to show you a movie. And I am looking forward to next year. And I just want to say to Mr. Dyer and the school board member, thank y'all so much from my heart. This is something that's very passionate to me. I had a sister that passed away last year from cancer, and I also have one that in remission. So this is very, when I say very dear, this is very dear to my heart. And I just want to thank everyone that came out and support the day with their pink on. And I know Dr. Chan is in the building.
Yes.
And her support, you know, many days that she opened her doors for me, and I thank her so much. Anyone have any questions?
No, I just wanted to ensure that, I don't know if I need to call on my bingo ladies, your bingo ladies, but they servants of the community. Will y'all please stand, the bingo ladies? Only thing you have to do is call them and they are there. So thank you ladies for what you do in the community. And just to let you know, our recreation staff is here to support you today. Kayla Moore, athletic superintendent, Albanese Sanders, Craig Dryer, Clifford Johnson, and Dominique Gilbert. So we appreciate the staff. They all come out and support today with their pink on. Again, thank you, Superintendent Dyer, and please let your staff know throughout the district we appreciate it.
Yes, I'm gonna work on getting that A.
Thank you, Ms. T.
You're welcome, and thank
We
y'all.
really appreciate the partnership, Ms. T, and all the work you put in. Schools look forward to this every year, and that's because of the enthusiasm that you bring is so contagious, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You either catch on or get off the train, so we catch on. So thank you. If you guys want to leave, you are welcome to do that. That is the crew that will be doing all your school-based activities.
All right, that'll work. Okay.
Thank y'all so much.
And thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
All right.
We have, Madam Chair, we have one more presentation. This month is Cybersecurity Month, and as we typically do, yes, ma'am. As we typically do, we'll have our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Fields, and his team come up to give you some information about our cybersecurity efforts. It's probably gonna scare you a little bit when you look at what we fight every day, but they have a great team, and we look forward to his presentation.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To the board, to Superintendent Dyer, to community members and stakeholders. I'm Terrence Fields, Chief Information Officer, and I have with me Mr. Chandler Blunt, who's our Cybersecurity Administrator, and Mr. Montreal Johnson, who's our Cybersecurity Analyst. These are the individuals whose daily responsibility is to keep our network safe. So I could not do this work without them. They make it look easy sometimes. And I do want to thank you guys for your leadership, because we're probably one of the few districts, school systems in Georgia, that have 2 people doing that role. And that's because of Mr. Dyer's leadership and your leadership, making sure that this is important. So as you know, Mr. Dyer stated, October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And I'm here to give you some information and to share with you some of the things that we're doing this school year and in the near future to help keep our students and data safe. So I want to get started with the vision of the IT department. You guys know what the vision is for the school system, but our IT department's vision is to transform education through technology that would directly affect the growth and needs and future of the local community. And how we're going to do that is by providing quality technology services through sustainable and secure resources for the exclusive purpose of educating our students and supporting our staff. So why cybersecurity is important? We're seeing a big shift in the cybersecurity landscape, and attacks today are not just random or manual. They're automated, they're targeted, and most of the time they're powered by artificial intelligence. So these threat actors are using tools that can scan for weaknesses across vulnerabilities across networks, and most of the time can get them in seconds. So we have to stay emerging and on top of and get our defenses evolved to make sure that we can stay on top and stop any threats. The other reason, K-12s are a target. They're a target because we manage large amounts of data, from student information to financial data. And oftentimes, a lot of threat actors look at education systems as weak because these big corporations have a lot of budget and a lot of staff to manage and keep their stuff safe. Oftentimes, some and most school systems don't. So that imbalance makes us an attractive option for them to come after. So across the country, we've seen school systems that have been attacked and learning has stopped for days or even weeks. And it's our responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen here. Of course, you know, we want to protect our student and staff data. Not only is it just protecting the data, but also we have a responsibility of trust to our constituents in our community. You know, they trust us with some of their most precious data, their health data, grades, addresses, discipline records, and we want to make sure we do everything we can to make sure that data is protected and safe. So what's some of the stuff that we have that's going on that's new in the system? I'm going to be going through that and let you know some of the things that we're also will be doing in the near future. One of the things that we made some adjustments to is our phishing and training campaigns. So we're attempting to make our cybersecurity awareness program a regular part of our culture. So we're not just doing once-a-year trainings anymore. We're doing quarterly trainings for our staff so we can keep them up to date with new threats and reinforce those practices throughout the year. In addition to that, we're doing monthly phishing simulations. So what we do, we have some safe control email that we send out as tests so we can see if the staff members are spotting those suspicious messages that are at risk. And each time what we do is we review those results, provide feedback, and measure that improvement. So this is an ongoing approach. So it's not about punishment, it's about progress. Oftentimes, if you may talk to some of the people in the school, they say, man, it's the time of the month, IT sending out those training, I don't have time to do it. If I don't do it, my name may end up on the list. But it's not about punishment, it's about progress, because what we're trying to do is make sure that we help every employee become stronger in that line of defense and protecting that student and our data. One of the things that Mr. Blunt has done in his short time here, he's only been with us for 2 years, but this spring we applied for a grant with the FCC, which was the Cybersecurity Pilot Program. Dougherty County School System was awarded that grant, which was over $500,000 for the next 3 years because of his leadership. And what he did was he submitted our cybersecurity plan to them and let them know how we can use those funds to strengthen our practices. And one of the things that we're going to do with that money is purchase this tool, which is an AI-driven email solution. What that would do is detect and block some of those sophisticated threats immediately before it even reaches the end user's inbox. So now we won't have to rely as much on the end user training. We still need it, but we want something in the middle to detect it before it even gets there. So a lot of times what this does is it looks at targeted phishing attempts, email compromise, and those social engineering attacks, and it detects it and blocks it before it even gets there. That sometimes those traditional practices will miss. And what it makes this powerful is it learns the behaviors of our users. It uses that artificial intelligence to see, hey, I know these behaviors. And when something is an abnormality, then it says, hey, this is abnormal, and it puts us into an isolation mode. Another thing that we're doing with our firewall, and I know I might be using some terms that you may not be familiar with, but that's okay. Think of a firewall as a gate to your home. It's that perimeter defense from keeping people out and in. And that firewall is just the digital part of that for us with internet traffic. So most internet traffic today is encrypted, which is good for privacy. What encryption means is it's just scrambled, so only the person that's meant to get that data is authorized to read it. But turning this on allows us to be able to see the basic details of those connections, where it's talking to and where it's going. So we'll be able to block connections that are either expired or have some self-signed certificates or some untrusted certificates, so we can make sure that the traffic that's going through is safe and it's to the person that it's intended to. But most times, threat actors use those unsafe certificates to get into our environment. One of the other future things we'll be adding to this is something that's called deep packet inspection, which takes that a step further. So what happens inside that encryption, attackers know what the model is now. So they can hide their malicious activity inside that encryption. So deep packet inspections scans that in real time for us. So us investing in these tools will give us access to see that stuff in real time where we would otherwise not see. Another piece we talk about is a password. This is probably the single most thing each individual end user can do to protect themselves and data, is to make sure they have a strong, secure password. A lot of times they look at passwords as just an IT rule, but it's not. In reality, the vast majority of network intrusions starts from a compromised password. So what we've done is we implemented a regular password reset cycle, so we can get rid of the risk of the old compromised credentials used by people over time. And what we want to do is make sure that our passwords are strong, unique, and secure. And some of the guidance that Mr. Chandler and Mr. Montreal has provided to us is they work with looking at NIST framework and national cybersecurity frameworks. And it's actually less secure to have our passwords change as frequently as we do, because people tend to lessen the strength and the complexity of them because they have trouble remembering. So we made those adjustments. based off their leadership and their guidance and the research that they've done. As you can see here, these are some other tips about strong passwords. I wanted to show you this graphic. It may be a little hard to read, but this just kind of shows you that the time it takes for hackers to be able to hack a password. All that stuff that's in purple there is the password level based on complexity that they can hack instantly. And we want to be in the green where it takes hundreds of years to be able to crack a passcode. So hypothetically, a threat actor can crack 8-character alphanumeric password within 3 weeks.
Wow.
So that's why we want to make sure that we keep it secure. We want to make it complex. And we also want to make sure that it's unique, because some of the other issues that we've seen now is, for instance, you may use a password personally for something else that may have a breach, maybe like another organization. So now we also use those detectors to say, hey, there's a password that was used that was notated in the breach with the same name as you or a similar name as you. We don't want you to use that here because it's on the open market and people can look at that and see and be able to compromise your data. These are just some of the partners that we have and some of the companies that we partner with to keep our data safe. Just to kind of give you an idea, we have several of them that we work with. Just to kind of put them on the slide. But some of the next stuff that you see here is our defense in depth and what we try to do. We kind of look at the defense as a layer kind of piece. You can kind of look at that first layer, that physical controls, pretty much as the prevention layer, just to keep stuff out. You know, that includes our firewalls and emails and multi-factor authentication. We also look at our detection issues of how we can spot things quickly. And all these things work together. So you kind of think of it like your home. You have a gate, you have an alarm system, those things. You know, sometimes some people can get past one level, but these systems are designed to go into effect. If one layer fails, the second one can step in. Then I want to be able to give you some data, just to give you an idea. So over the past 30 days, our organization, we have blocked over 1,300 foreign logon attempts. And what that means is each of these represents someone trying to access our systems without permission. While we take them seriously, we have protections in place to make sure that they are not getting in. And this is what this illustrates. This slide shows the volume of email traffic in our district over the past 30 days. So you can see our communication systems are very busy. We've had sent over 1.4 million emails in the last 30 days. And 144,000 of those were automatically categorized as malicious and never made it to the inbox. We feel if we get that additional AI tool, some of the ones that are still getting by through traditional methods, that number will increase and we can lessen our attack vector and our risk. This here is some of the results from our security awareness that we do, those quarterly trainings that we do with staff. And as you can see the progress over time. You see fewer staff are clicking on those email links and they are actually reporting the suspicious messages. So this is just not a compliance metric. You know, we look at this and we're seeing that our staff are becoming more active in defending and protecting our student data. And lastly, this here shows you our firewall, that gate that we talked about earlier, and all the block attempts over the last month. So each block represents a potential threat that we stop before it can reach our internal network. Lastly, another future thing that we will be doing is DLP, which is short for data loss prevention. So right now in our Google email system, we're going to put in a safeguard that helps prevent sensitive information or confidential information from being mistakenly shared, like student data, social security numbers, financial records. To make it plain, a staff member may try to send something, and based off the coding, it can automatically detect it, and it will say, hey, this looks like this may be a social security number. And while it won't block it automatically, it will flag a message to give that end user an opportunity to stop and think and say, hey, is this something that I should be sending? To prevent those, because believe it or not, again, most of those exposures happen mistakenly by end users, sharing some information that may be confidential. And we do have some things in place that they still can use if information needs to be shared. We always work with our administrators and our staff here to say, please use your Google Drive sharing options. use the Google Drive confidential mode. If you have to extract data out of the system and send it externally, and with the confidential mode gives you the ability to be able to put a timestamp on the email or make sure the context of the email is not downloaded, saved, printed, or forwarded. So these are some of the things that we're doing behind the scenes this year, on top of some of the things that we continue to do in the last presentation that we gave last year, this year, to keep our students and data safe. Again, I do want to thank you guys for having me here. I want to thank Mr. Dyer for his leadership and listen to some of our concerns and being able to bring those recommendations to this board so we can invest in our students and our staff and keeping their data safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. 1.4 million emails in a month. I think half of them came to my inbox. That's the way it feels sometimes, I tell you. But really, thank you team. Gentlemen, stand up again. They do an excellent job. And a lot of times, you don't see them, and you don't know they're there. And they like it that way, because when you see them, that means something's happened. And so they do a great job. I really appreciate what you do, and keep us safe. Work behind the scenes, unsung heroes. Because if our network gets taken down, just about everything stops. And so we really appreciate what you do. So I want to bring this to the board's attention. We do it every year just to raise awareness for our cybersecurity efforts. And we have a great chief information officer who not only does that, he also picked up telecommunications this year, rolled that out almost flawlessly with a big system like ours. And we really appreciate everything that you do. And thank you very much. She can do it during the executive session. So if we do an executive session, the property and litigation.
So do you want to review the agenda?
Yeah, it's going to take that.
Okay. Okay, board members, we'll review the agenda items to give board members an opportunity to ask questions and make comments. We will need an executive session to discuss personnel and litigation.
And property.
And property. Board members, do you have any questions, comments about the agenda? Minutes for the regular board meeting held on September 25th. Items 2, any of those items. September 25th, 2025. Here none. Board, any board items or discussion that any board members need to bring forth? Okay, Mr. Superintendent, are you ready for your?
Well, actually on item 6.
6C.
Dr. Finley has a brief update on the adoption of the, this is the second read for the policy recommendations. And Dr. Finley has just a brief overview on sections A, B, and C. That basically just to follow up on the presentation from last time, the updates that were made. I think Dr. Finley, there was some comments. There was about reorganizing the
Information.
core beliefs, putting safety first. We did that, and there were no other comments that we received. So he wants to make sure that he addresses any concerns that you have before we present these for adoption.
Good morning, esteemed Board of Education. Superintendent Mr. Dyer, thank you so much. District and school leadership staff, community stakeholders, parents and students. It's an honor to come before you today to provide an update as it relates to our policy process. I want to start with thank you. Thank you for your leadership and your governance as it relates to ensuring that we have strong policies in place for us to be able to implement and move our district forward in a positive direction. Today, sections A through C, I provided those particular documents this is the second read today, and today's more so around if you have some questions for clarity that you may need answered. I'm here to answer those questions for you. The folder that I gave you today, that's sections D through F. I don't want to confuse you. So
Yeah.
the folder I provided you today is sections D through F.
Okay.
So
Right. Yeah, A through C was provided at a previous meeting. And I think in the board package, you see the summary for those.
Board members have any question for Dr.? And my question was answered, but I will ask it again just for the board members to ensure that the preamble will be online. And then there will be links to click on if the community wants to go back to the actual law.
yes, and
So I
yes, that's accurate. And the reason for that, just to speak to it again, is because we believe in transparency, and we want our stakeholders not to have to go search for information. So although it may not need to be an actual policy, it's still important information because it's law. So we don't want our families, our stakeholders, to have to go searching for information. So that's the reason why the preamble reference section, and it will be available for them to click and go, access the information.
Any questions, board members?
And just as a reminder, the GSBA, they're providing us with guidance on this, and they recommended deleting a lot of policies because they said they're already included in state law. And although we agree that they should be in policy, we also don't want people having to go search for the official code of Georgia or search for a state board rule. So we include those links so that if we provide information, they want to go look at the source of reference for it, it'll be at their fingertips. And so, and Dr. Finley, I appreciate that because we were debating on whether to keep the policies or delete them. He said, well, it's important to keep information, even though it's not policy. We came with the preamble, and that's the outside the box thinking that I like to, it's solutions-oriented thinking that we like. And he certainly came up with that, and we appreciate that.
Okay. Hearing no questions, you must have done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
He'll be back a little later.
For the next section,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Superintendent?
My report, yes, ma'am, I am. Right. Superintendent's report, October 30th. For the vision of the Dougherty County school system is that we're a destination school system that, in collaboration with families and community stakeholders, provides quality educational and social development experiences that empowers graduates to be successful and impactful contributors to society. And the mission of the Dougherty County school system is to meet the academic and non-academic needs of its students with rigorous and relevant educational experiences that equip them to succeed in life. Our strategic priorities include early literacy, academic rigor and relevance, student wellness, investment in human capital, and family and community engagement. Our discussion topics will start with Dr. Finley going through sections D through F, and we'll have and I'll give you a break. I'll start with the property tax revenue discussion first to give you time to get your breath, and then we'll go to the policy updates and for section D through F. Then our celebration and announcements, and then an executive session that the board sees fit. Very briefly, this is unprecedented in regarding the property tax revenue delay. It's unprecedented since I've been here. Yeah, I'm sure it may have happened in the past, but we've been advised by our tax department that the property tax revenue will be delayed getting to the city, the county, and school system this year, significantly delayed. They requested a 30-day extension, and we found out just last Friday, I think it was, that they are requesting another 30-day extension. No, not Friday, it was Monday. They requested another 30-day extension because of some delays in the process. And so we typically get the bulk of our property tax revenue between October and December. Out of the $36 million that we received in property tax revenue last year, the bulk of it, for this fiscal year rather, the bulk of it came in the last quarter of the year. About $22 million came between October and December, with October being about 1.4 million, about the same, a little more in November, and about 17 million coming in December. This year for October, we received $50,000. Now, the money is coming. They had some delays in their processing, and not to get into all of that, but we do. They don't know when we can. Yeah, we don't know when. Yeah, they put it in the mail. We hadn't been delivered yet. They don't know when it's going to be delivered. So, fortunately, we do have a healthy reserve, and we're sitting on about $22 million in cash investments that are in T-bills that have different maturity dates. We earn about 4% on those T-bills. Looking at our cash flow, don't know if we're going to need to liquidate those investments earlier than planned to have the cash flow for November, December, because typically we would have the tax revenue from the county by then. So I'm looking at that. I'm also looking at a tax anticipation note, not because we don't have the cash because the money's invested, but I'm looking at the rate that they would charge us for a tax anticipation note versus the rate we're earning on our T-bills. And if the tax anticipation note and the fees associated with it is going to be less than the money we're earning on our investments, I would recommend doing a TAN so we wouldn't lose the money on the interest on our investments. So that's just a heads up. We'll know more about this in the next week or so, and we'll come with a recommendation for our November 10th board meeting.
Is there a penalty for withdrawing early?
Yeah, that's why I'm going to check in. I'm looking at all of those factors to determine what recommendation we'll make. And I've already been in contact with Argent, who we have our investments with, and with Ameris Bank, with whom we'll do the TAN to compare those proposals.
Mayor, any other questions, board members, concerning the possibility?
And they told us, just so you know, they told us that we should anticipate delays next year, because next year they would have completed the revaluations or reassessments of property, and they anticipate a larger than usual number of appeals. If you look at communities across Southwest Georgia, the valuations have gone up, and the more appeals you get, the more. So they say anticipate delays next year. And if they had told us that this year, we would have let our investments mature, and we would and not reinvest it. But at least we know for next year. No. And it could be worse. It could be that we don't have any money. We don't have any options. So because of the board's strong leadership in terms of fiscal policy, we're in a very good position with two options that are both viable and to take care of the short-term issue that we have with our partners in revenue, Dougherty County. Any questions?
No, sir.
All righty. Reverend Bush, you okay down there? All right.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
I want to make sure my finance committee chair is okay down there. And next, we'll have, I'll defer to Dr. Finley as he gives a brief update on policy sections D through F.
Okay, so in the folder that you have in front of you, first I want to start by taking the time to reconnect back to our process. So we have policy owners for all of our policies in our district now. So it's important that we receive feedback from the people who are doing the work closest to the work. We want to get that feedback to help inform how we recommend policy to you. So that's what's happening. So I want to take the time to thank our finance department, Ms. Hatcher and her leadership, logistical services, Ms. Thompson, Ms. Wickerson, who played a great role in providing feedback and working with their teams to help inform recommendations. So I just want to start there. And now we'll move into the folder So, and I apologize for all the folders when I come, but I just want to make sure you have the information that you need. And I try my best to make sure it's organized in a way that you can follow when you open the folder up. So it starts with a table of contents, and you'll see the first document is GSBA recommendations. So I always give you exactly what they send first. So it's that the first document has not been adjusted. It's exactly what came from Georgia School Board Association, their recommendations. The second document is GSBA's recommendations with DSCS recommendations included. So it's combined on the same document. And number 3, you'll see the policy revision manual. So that's all of the policies with Georgia School Board Association recommendations. And the last document is policy briefs, just for try to support. I know you're busy, so try to do everything we can to support you. So it's not taking a lot of your time when you're looking through the policies. So that's the organization of the folder. Each individual document is numbered. So it's numbered, so it aligns with the table of contents. So like if you drop your folder, you can pick your documents up and you can still be able to, connect the dots. They are all organized in a way. So the materials in this particular folder, we're asking for your consideration to accept for the first read. We are still doing some research as it relates to some of our policies. So you will receive some updated information as it relates to some of our policies. We're still collaborating with our team. We're still doing research to ensure that we provide the best recommendations to you for your consideration. So for today, we're asking for your consideration to accept for first read with the understanding that you will receive some updates related to recommendations from us. I will ask you to go to document 2. And document 2 is Georgia School Board Association recommendations and DCSS recommendations. Just to point out that you'll see our recommendations up to the far right. In the second, third, and fourth column, they're all GSBA recommendations. So they either make a recommendation to let you know it's required, it's a required policy. The second is discretionary, meaning, you know what discretionary means. And the next one is consider abolishing. Those are the 3 options that they will provide their recommendation up under. And then all the way to the right, you'll see what our recommendations are. When you receive the updated information from us, you'll also see an additional column for us that speaks to rationale. We're still doing research, as mentioned earlier, but wanted to make sure we got information to you sooner rather than later, and also provide policy briefs so that we are definitely we value your time, so we want to make sure we do everything we can to make it a little more streamlined for you. So at this point, if there are any questions, I'll take them at this time.
I just want to add one thing. If you would notice, to make a point we made earlier, policy DCDB, budget hearings and reviews, final budget adoption, they're saying recommend abolishing that because it's in state law. But if we have one of our constituents that want to know our budget process, we don't want them to have to go to state law to get it. And so we're recommending that we retain with certain revisions, and that's why we don't always take their recommendations. They have a more minimalist approach, and we want to make sure that we err on the side of transparency versus and convenience for our stakeholders versus just abolishing and saying just check the state law book. Yeah, right. That's just an example of why we do that. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Han?
From section F, in reference to discretionary, GSBA recommends consider the policy may be handled administratively in the name of facilities. Could you kind of expound on that a little bit?
Which policy did you say?
FDC,
F, section F.
FDC. That's a renaming. Yeah, what I can speak to that, Dr. Finnan. We talked about that extensively. And our current policy requires that the board approve the naming of facilities and major sections of facilities. GSBA said that's discretionary and it could be handled administratively, meaning the superintendent could approve the naming of facilities. And we're saying, no, we're not. If you see our recommendation is not aligned with GSBA's recommendation, it's saying we recommend that we retain the policy. And so that's how that works. So the policy itself is inside the big pack that he in his it's the third from the end. So because it's in order. And but that's what that policy is. They're recommending saying that even handle administratively, so the board doesn't have to address the name of facilities. But we know that's a major issue, and that should not rest with one person being able to make that decision. And so we believe that we shouldn't take that recommendation. We're not recommending that.
And just for clarity, when it does say retain policy, we're saying retain our current policy. And you may see retain policy with revisions. That means that there may be some additional word that is added, whether it's from Georgia School Board Association or from our committee that we're recommending. So I just want to make that clarifying point as well.
Any other questions, board members? So this will be going for second read November the 10th, or?
That's our goal, to have it ready to you. The information that Dr. Finley we're still researching. We're probably getting that to you sometime early next week. And if you have had sufficient time to review it, then the second read will be November 10th. And then we'll continue to move forward with the next sections being I, H,
Personnel,
and J.
Personnel, negotiations, and instructional program. That's the next level. Yep.
That's for Christmas
you're
reading,
right.
I'm
sorry.
That's for Christmas
Right,
reading,
right.
Yeah. Those are the next three sections.
Those are some pretty lengthy policy sections.
Well, Ms. Huntley always wanted homework, so she gon' Any other questions for Dr. Friend? She'll do her lesson. Thank you, and I certainly appreciate making it easier. I shared with you and Mr. Dyer. I didn't share with the board. I was able to show this information to Georgetown school system, and they like the way it was set out, the fact that they are actually going to do theirs the same way due to the hard work. So you're not just impacting our community, you're impacting other communities. So I'll be taking my homework all out the state of Georgia. So again, thank you. When their people saw this, they were like, this is so much easier the way you set it up. So thank you again, sir.
No problem. Thank you. And thank you to my wonderful team. I have a team. It's a collaborative effort. So
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Certainly do. Dr. Finley had me in the conference room about 4 hours going over these policies when they wouldn't let me out. But it's important work. It's important work, and we go through these with a fine-tooth comb because we know that we have to make sure we make our best recommendation to the board. And some people just take what GSBA says and they accept it. That's the easy way to do it. But Dr. Finley looks at it, he says, I don't necessarily agree with this, and this is why. And we debate, we go back and forth, and then we come up with our recommendations. And so that's, I appreciate that thought partnership. I really do. Yep. Next, we'll move to announcements, celebrations. Of course, the fall recharge. Most everybody we had over 1,000 people show up downtown. I think was it about 1,500 that reserved shirts. 1,600 reserved shirts. All of them didn't show up, but most of them did. And we had a great time. It was a great time. It was a great time. We were debating on how do we get the feeling of the tailgate back without the heat of the tailgate that we had at the beginning of the year. And Mr. Davis said, how about have a street festival? I said, well, you know what? We talked about it last year. but we couldn't pull it off last year, so we did it this year. Again, I thought probably we were sitting in the room trying to figure out how to make it work, and this was just as good a time as any we had at the tailgate. Other than the fact that I didn't get a chance to cook, to do my grill. Other than that, though, it was better in my opinion. Yeah.
I mean, they just raised, I mean, it really was,
It was great.
awesome.
It was great. It was great.
Awesome.
It was a great time.
Too bad can't do it twice a year.
Yeah, we can't do it twice here. Miss Hatcher would get me on that. But it was a really good time, and we were working on a slideshow presentation. We had hundreds of pictures taken, drone shots taken, and JD's pulling that together. And I told him make sure he gets my good side. That's what taking so long. He had to edit a lot of the pictures. So he got it from the top. So thanks to JD for that, and thank you board members for attending. Our employees really like to see you there engaged with you, and I think you enjoyed it as well.
Yes.
And I certainly did, and we had a wonderful time.
Good growth.
And the Unity Day, we had Unity Day last week in partnership with the United Way, and we had everyone dress in orange and take a unity pledge. Not only at the district office, but also all of our schools throughout the school system. And that's just continued. I think this is about the 5th year we've been celebrating Unity Day as a school system. Then after school lunch week was actually our fall break week. So we celebrated it last week. And we certainly appreciate our school nutrition staff. Our kids can't learn if they're hungry. And our folks do a great job of providing nutritious meals to our students. They get there early in the morning. They're working at 5 o'clock to make sure that the breakfast is ready for our students when they get there. And we certainly appreciate everything that they do. Also, we celebrated National School Bus Safety Week. They can't learn if they're hungry, and they can't learn if they don't get to school. And so a lot of times our school nutrition staff and our bus drivers don't get the recognition they deserve for the important work that they do. And we just want to make sure we take time during those weeks, especially those weeks, to express our appreciation for them. We can't take safety for granted. And so National School Bus Safety Week is certainly something that we celebrate and recognize. This month, not only is it cybersecurity month, it's also National Principals Month. And so we celebrated our principals at the principals meeting we had earlier this month. And JD had his wonderful idea of providing pictures of our guess who, pictures of our principals when they were much younger, and trying to guess who they are. And the engagement has been very, very, very strong in that campaign. And I guessed all of them right, by the way. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But no, really, it's been well received, and people have a good time trying to guess it. And just thank you, JD, for that idea. We really appreciate that. Harlem Design Contest. You know about the Harlem Renaissance project going on downtown, yes, ma'am, they did. They certainly did. We were approached by the marketing coordinator for that campaign about an art competition, a design competition. And so we asked our fine arts coordinator, Samantha Fields, to organize a campaign competition with our students. And it's not just Dougherty County students, it's students from everywhere. And the student winners are Destiny Melvin from Dougherty High, Guadalupe Juan Martin from Dougherty High, and Huasia Arnold from Westover High School. And so their art will be displayed as part of the design in the Harlem Renaissance project. So we're proud of that.
Able to discuss their paintings and what role
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
you know
I know you were.
Madam Chairman.
Mr. Bush.
Madam Chairman, I just can't sit here idly by. And Mr. Dye mentioned that something earlier. He said something about being contagious. And I want to personally thank him for being so visible And I was at a program, I just want to reveal this, on Sunday for Reverend Nathaniel Holt. He preached his initial sermon, and I was there. I don't get out much, but some things you have to do. And I noted with interest that the associate superintendent, several principals were in attendance, and so many teachers and staff, janitors, and when I observed this picture that the pictures that my good friend Mr. JD took the other day at the gathering, I thought about all of the hard work of the bus drivers. You know, they drive the bus and they endeavor so many problems, and we know what they are. And you mentioned about the food service. These people, they work for little or nothing. And we just need to take our hat off to our staff sometime and then thank them. And I think that Ms. T challenged us today to go and see the gent lady at over there at Mary Acres. I'm going to go over there. And we just have to do that and stop. I guess there's a word that I learned a long time ago about all form and no substance. You know, we got to stop trying to be. I guess we got to show it. And I remember Dr. Black's favorite words years ago. What you do, speak so loud, I can't hear a word you say. Thank you for allowing me to say that, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Any other? Mr. Superintendent?
Thank you, Reverend Bush, for that. And I want to make sure I echo that sentiment. That this board had certainly shown what they care about our employees by raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. No full-time employee makes less than $15 an hour, and the board said they didn't want anybody working full-time for the Dougherty County school system to be living in poverty. And so they made that commitment. You made that commitment, and that's action, not just words. I really appreciate that. And Reverend Bush, his leadership with the Finance Committee, his challenging me and the staff to always be prudent with the way we manage finances allows us to be able to do that. So we certainly appreciate that. Not only that, but all the other things that we do for our employees, like the fall recharge. It's all possible because of stewardship. And it's done because of the commitment we have to our employees and our desire to show our appreciation for them. So I echo what Reverend Bush said, and I thank this board for allowing us to do that.
Ms. Hand, I'm sorry, Dr. Hand.
Thank you. Mr. Superintendent, I would like to also recognize Turner Elementary. Last week they had the lights and they had young people cooking. I think they showed some excerpts on TV this past week, but they were in there cooking, the little guys and the little girls, and teaching them not only how to cook, but they were making, which I'd never heard of, toothpaste out of something, and they were rockets. But that was really something to see. But those young people not only learning in the high school, middle school, but in the elementary schools, how to cook.
Yes, ma'am.
And I thought they had taken home economics out of home town. They did an awesome job. Turner Elementary.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Great job. Good work going on throughout our school systems, out of innovative ways to expose our students to new things, not just traditional academics, but a lot of things. Yes, ma'am. I want to announce. The word is kind of small there, but I want to announce one or two grants. This is the Dougherty County School System Athletics Department submitted a grant to the American Association of Adapted Sports Programs, and we were awarded the grant. We was announced last Sunday that we was the 2025 recipient of the Get in the Game grant, which is going to fund our adaptive sports program. So our students with disabilities can now participate in Georgia High School Association sponsored sports in wheelchair basketball, wheelchair handball, wheelchair football, and adapted track and field. We're the first school system in Southwest Georgia to have an adaptive sports program. And so with that, we are launching the fall with a full schedule, and we look forward to some state championships in these sports very soon. But really, more so than state championships, it gives our students with varying levels of ability to participate. And one thing, when we talk about student wellness, we talk about creating a sense of belonging. Not just making them feel welcome, but making them feel like they belong. And part of that is being engaged in extracurricular activities. We started with esports. A lot of our introvert students who don't thrive in traditional sports, they joined the esports program at Dougherty High. And we talked about the adaptive sports program. And Ms. Ali, I commend her for submitting that application, getting it funded. And you see there, she's holding the grant, holding the banner that we were proud to display beginning in the fall. That we were getting in the game grant recipient for this year, and this just speaks to our commitment to providing innovative and equitable opportunities for all of our students, and so we're really excited about that. And then the last announcement is Gear Up 2032, our Gear Up grant that we received 8 years ago. Ended last year. We have a carryover year this year. We had additional funding, but we submitted another proposal, for Gear Up, and we were advised 2 weeks ago that we were funded again for another 7-year grant. This is called Gear Up 2032 with the 2032 cohort.
It ended, but did you say there was carryover funds?
Yeah, it ended last year, but we carry over funds for we have staff in place for this year. Yes, ma'am. Finishing up just a few things. We don't have any. The students have graduated, so what we did, we submitted a proposal so that we would provide the colleges and universities where our students attend funding for a first year success coach, so they can work with the students in those cohorts to make sure they have a good first year. And so that's how we're going to liquidate those funds, and then we'll start up. We'll advertise soon for positions for this grant program for 2032. And it's about a little less than $10.5 million over 7 years, about $1.5 million a year, just about to raise awareness for post-secondary. And we're partnered with Albany State University, Albany Technical College, the United Way on financial literacy, and other entities in the community to bring a great experience to our middle school students, and follow that cohort all the way through high school graduation in their first year of college, whether that's a traditional 4-year or a technical college. Any questions or comments as I conclude my presentation? If not, then thank you for your time, thank you for your commitment, thank you for your leadership, and at this time, Madam Chair, if the board wishes, we can go into executive session for personnel, property, and litigation. And I do anticipate action after the executive session.
Okay, board members, do we have a motion to go in executive session?
Madam Chair, I vote that we go into executive session for property, personnel.
Second by Ms. Hand. All in favor? All opposed? We will now be in executive session.
Legally.
Patient, can you please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you again and welcome to the public to the mid-month board meeting. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda with the addendum?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Do we have any changes to the minutes for the board meeting held on September 25th, 2025? If not, can I entertain a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam Chair, I move the approval of the minutes.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Can I enter a motion for consent items for items 2A through 5B with that addendum?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Next, I would like to enter can I get a motion to adopt agenda item 6, the recommendation to policy sections A through C?
Madam Chair, I move the adoption of the policies cited. Second motion.
All opposed? Motion passes. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you, Mr. Dyer. Do we have any announcements or comments for the superintendent board members?
Just want to remind board members that we have our basketball kickoff next Friday, November 7th, at Albany State West, beginning at, I think, 4 p.m. We'll send an email out, but all 3 high schools and Lee County High School will be competing as we kick off the 2025-26 basketball season. It's November 7th. It'll be at Albany State West. We'll get you an email out with the exact times, and if you're going to be there, let Ms. Rhonda know. We'll get your parking pass set up. Right?
Okay, Mr. Superintendent, I know it's too late this year, but we always said when we get to December to the conference about the media, our students participate in media. So we're asking now.
Okay.
Because the thing, anytime they start putting it on the screen, somebody touch and say, we need to participate.
Yeah.
So can you please put that out to your staff now that they can review those items that they show it
Yes, ma'am.
December, so we can be prepared to submit next year for that award?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
Do we have any other business to address? Dr. Hand?
I would like to inquire more about the boards outside. What am I trying to say?
The billboards?
Marquees, thank you.
Okay.
The marquees. Could you kind of update us on that?
On the advertising
Yes.
billboards?
Yes.
Are they still running, JD? Yes, they are.
They are.
We expanded to the other areas that we discussed. And when is that contract, the current contract run through here?
The end of October, we have the first new
Okay.
through the first year.
Okay.
And now we have all digital boards and all.
Okay.
Oh, very good.
All digital boards. Okay. Thank you.
Maybe we get an update of all of those at once again?
Yeah, we can start to get those locations to you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, we can do that.
Again, because, okay, thank you.
Pastor Bush?
What about JD, what about, pre-K and, like, program that the coordinator got there, for the smart children?
gifted program?
You know, we have to get a sign up for them too. I mean, if we have one up, you gotta have one up for everybody.
Yeah.
Can't eliminate anybody.
Yes, sir.
That's not a call that I would, you know, like to see one person make. I think that, you know, that should be, everybody should be kind of equal.
Mr. Superintendent,
Yeah,
we would like to address that.
Yeah, the billboards that Dr. Ham was referring to were the advertising billboards. I think Reverend Bush, you're referring to the marquees in front of our building that we announced, and so we are working on that. And what we're doing is getting digital boards for all of our schools marquees. We replace with digital marquees, and we'll include every program that's in that building.
I agree. I think that everybody running up to the store saying, why are we gonna have this? I think everybody.
So, Mr. Dyer, can you and your staff go check and see what school?
We already have.
Okay.
We're working on it. We're getting quotes right now. We got 3 businesses giving us quotes on digital marquees for all of our, one size for high school and middle school, another size for elementary.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Any other items need to come before the Dougherty County School Board? Can I enter a motion for adjourning the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?